In previous lessons, we have discussed emotional problems in intercultural communication. In this lesson, we'll talk about problems caused by attitudes. We have learned that Wang Xin encountered emotional problems when communicating with Jerry from another culture. He was very confused with Jerry's complaint about his warm-heartedness. He thought that friendliness and hospitality are good virtues and insisted that Jerry from American culture just didn't know what was good for him. What do you think of Wang Xin's attitude toward his own culture and Jerry's culture? You may say that we are taught the preferred and unconscious ways to respond to the world. We cannot deny that people generally perceive their own culturally shaped behaviors or attitudes as natural and hence universal. But if people negatively judge another culture by the frame of their own, it will lead to ethnocentrism, referring to the belief that their culture is primary or even superior to others. It might well be the major barrier to intercultural communication. If you were Wang Xin, would you take any of the following ethnocentric attitudes? Most other cultures are backward compared with my culture. My culture should be the role model for other cultures. Other cultures should try to be more like my culture. Most people from other cultures just don't know what's good for them. I have little respect for the values and customs of other cultures. Most people would be happier if they lived like people in my culture. People in my culture have just about the best lifestyles of anywhere. Lifestyles in other cultures are not as valid as those in my culture. I do not cooperate with people who are different. I do not trust people who are different. I dislike interacting with people from different cultures. Other cultures are smart to look up to my culture. Other people are much the same as my people. Our way of doing things is the only right way. Ethnocentric attitudes can be unconscious or automatic, and all of us are thus likely to be ethnocentric in one way or another. This attitude is apparently presented in the practice of drawing world maps. Every nation puts itself at the center of the world. Europeans draw maps of the world with Europe at the center. North Americans with the New World at the center. Do you feel strange or a bit odd without China at the center of the world map? Morton Klaas and Harold Hellman remarked, "There is nothing unusual about this type of thinking. The Chinese, who called their country the Middle Kingdom, were convinced in ancient times that China was the center of the world, and similar beliefs were held by other nations, and still are held. The British drew the prime meridian of longitude to run through Greenwich, near London. Ethnocentrism can be positive if we are involved in intercultural communication because it satisfies the need for cohesiveness and solidarity of a nation or culture or ethnic group. Conforming to our shared traditions or customs, we feel safe and obtain the merits our culture brings to us. Don't we feel comfortable when we are treated generously as we treat others? On the other hand, Ethnocentric attitudes can result in problems or even conflicts when we are involved in intercultural communication. Ethnocentrism can not only shape narrow and defensive perspectives, but also normally generates stereotypes of members from other cultures, leading to rigid behaviors. An extreme ethnocentrism leads to a rejection of richness and knowledge of other cultures. It impedes communication and blocks the exchange of ideas and skills among peoples.